What is up, everybody? Welcome back to today's video. If you guys remember from the last episode, we pretty much got everything out of the car, pretty much ready for the removal of the engine. Pretty much what's left is the engine mounts in the back and the side, and then the transmission mount. And I also went ahead and got a not brand new, but I got an EVO 4 transmission and transfer case. Remember guys, if you guys are doing the EVO swap, you need this specific transmission and transfer case. You guys will see later. And look who's here. What up, dude? You ready? All right, so Tony actually brought engine stand for the EVO 8 motor, which will come in clutch. How did you fit it in here? Alright, so let's move the transmission and then start unbolting the bolts to the mount. We got it mocked up through one of the manifold bolts here. We got it hooked up to the block on this side right here. And now we're just gonna put the chain, we're gonna pretty much grab it from here and then pull it up outwards. So now all that's left is to start moving this bolt, for example, and it's a 17. We went ahead and removed the bolt in the back already. This one's loose and this one's loose as well. Remember, you guys always use baggies with the label so you don't lose the bolt. Also, you guys know that Lazy's always here helping, but last night he went to like Beyond Wonderland or some rave and he got a little messed up. So I know you're watching this, Lazy. Screw you for not coming. There you go. You let it off? Yeah. All right, cool. So the engine's now on full support of the engine hoist. Let's start pulling it outwards. Oh, it's leaking coolant, right? Yeah, and then we're also leaking oil. It's all good. I mean, I'll clean it later. I'll just get it out of here. We were actually having trouble taking out the engine, so we actually just went ahead and removed the passenger side mount, the rear mount, and the transmission mount's already kind of off. I think we have more room for the engine to come out, so now we're actually going to go ahead and pull it out and see how it comes out. We got it. Damn, like what, an hour later, dude? We managed to Alright, anyways, after like an hour later, removing the mounts and everything, we're actually able to wiggle it out somehow. So we also leaked a little bit, so it's gonna be a mess, but I'll clean it later. Now we're just gonna go ahead and push it out and put it on the engine stand. Now that the engine's out, we're just gonna go ahead and start separating the 3G transmission from the EVO block, because obviously we're not gonna be using this transmission anymore. We just gotta make sure that this thing just doesn't just pop off. We also put a tire down here on the engine, and once they're separated, then we'll be able to put this on the engine stand. Alright guys, so we ended up taking the transmission off. We're about to check the damage on the clutch since it was slipping originally. This is from Clutch Masters. I'm not sure if it wasn't broken in properly or something, but honestly I didn't like this setup. I don't know if the car made too much power or it was just like a really bad clutch. We're gonna remove the clutch, check the damage. The transmission's off. It's going to be going to a new owner that is also going to be doing the EVO swap on his Eclipse. So he'll be coming down from NorCal and picking this up alongside the whole front wheel drive setup. So we're talking the manifold spacer, the clutch, the flywheel, the transmission, the axles, and stuff like that. All right, we ended up taking off the clutch and flywheel. There is a couple of marks on it. It was pretty much brand new though. And the clutch seems okay-ish. It is not destroyed, so that's a good thing. And there's still a lot of life left. Yeah, here's a condition of the Clutch Masters, the FX400 clutch. The reason it was leaking oil and slipping was because the rear main seal was actually letting oil into the clutch and causing pretty much, you know, slippage. So I'm gonna have to switch this out later, but for now we're actually just gonna go ahead and mount it up to the stand and then move on to the car and then start taking off all the extras. We pretty much got everything cleaned up. Now we're actually gonna go ahead and move on to removing all the extra stuff from the car so that the chassis is pretty much bare. Tony's actually leaving already, he has to go, so I'll pretty much take over from this point. Then peace out. Yo, you guys will not believe what just happened. As soon as Tony left, all I hear is like a loud bang. And this thing completely like turned over. I guess we didn't tighten the bolt tight enough. And now I'm scared that the head is messed up. Like the cams, the lifters, the rockers might have like come out of place. So rest in peace. Nah, but for us, we should be good. I looked it up on the forums and apparently it's okay to do it. Just try not to leave it for a long periods of time. You can see where the oil is leaking from, but we did drain the oil, so there was still some left in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and clean all this up, and I also have to start finishing up the DSM. So I'm pretty much just gonna like disconnect all the main accessories that we're not gonna need, because we're actually gonna need space for all the shaving and all the stuff. So I'll probably remove all the bolts, all the like the stickers, the plug, disconnect all the wiring harness from there so it's all loose, and pretty much finish it from there. And then on the next video we'll actually go ahead and test fit the Evo 4 transmission and transfer case onto the Evo 8 long block, and then test fit it in the car to see if the transmission mount lines up and if it's gonna hit the subframe, which it most likely will, so we're gonna have to cut into it. Guys, it just hit me like the difficulty of this whole thing is total. It's like really overwhelming. If you've ever done a build like this, you already know the extensive amount of work and time that goes into it. Honestly, it hasn't hit me. It barely hit me right now, and I'm starting to feel overwhelmed because I'm trying to have it ready for mod. And I'm just thinking of all the steps that are required to pretty much get it, you know, to the running point. Again, it hasn't really been done, so there's a lot of trial and error, and I'm basically gonna go ahead and put myself in that position where we're gonna try things. They might not work, some might. The thing about builds like this, you just gotta stay persistent and pretty much keep going even when you feel like this, because I remember when I really started the Evo swap, I felt the same exact way when I was around the midpoint, and I would think to myself, well, I would ask myself if I'm ever gonna finish it. And I'm just doing all the little things, you know, all the little things in that people usually don't show, that you have to kind of go through and just put yourself through it. And then, because people only want to see the end result, you know, they see you start something and then they want to see it done, but they never realize all the amount of work and time they're actually putting into off hours, you know, off camera. You know. Just be aware, guys, that people that do this, like, it's not easy. You know, take it easy on them, because you can't rush something like this. It's very hard. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of work. So I'm gonna finish that real quick and then get back to you guys. First thing I'm gonna remove is this guy right here for the support. It's just a bunch of 10mm bolts, and then we'll have space there. Then I'll move over to the fog lights. And fog light on this side is out, and alright guys, so I went ahead and removed all the excess bolts throughout the back of the firewall. I got the wiring harness disconnected from this side of the car all the way down over here. All that's left is a wiring harness from inside the fenders, so we'll get that on the next video. And then we're also going to go ahead and disconnect the fuel filter, brake booster, the reservoir, stuff like that. That way the engine bay is empty completely. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the progress for today. Next video, we'll go ahead and do the transmission and the engine test fitting. So huge thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.
Listen.